Hey, what up people, how's it going? This is Bharat here. Welcome back to yet another video. I'm actually minding my own business, doing a pretty decent project for the next video. It's obviously going to come out in a couple of days time. So all of you Flutter folks out there who have been asking me for content on Flutter, stay tuned for that. It's actually a Flutter for Web challenge that I'm taking up myself. It's going to be interesting. So that's what is going to be the next video. So maybe you can stay subscribed, do all of that. Anyway, the topic for this video is actually interesting because I've been working on this project for about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, and I realized something very important, and I just want to talk about that in a separate video. Over the last couple of months, or maybe more than 3 months, the amount of Flutter, the amount of things that I've done with Flutter has been minimal. Because I've been mostly concentrating on Python projects. There could be demo project. There's also one more Node project that I took up. So little bit of less focus with respect to Flutter. And I wanted to take up this Flutter challenge that I was doing as part of this video. When I understood that I have to write a lot of code. As you can see, I'm just actually sharing my screen here. So I don't want to show the entire thing. But again, there's been like maybe around 4 files, 100 each, around 450 to 500 lines of code that I've written so far. The important thing I want to talk about was how much of importance does an IDE make for me, and is it good or is it bad? Okay, pretty much this question has been asked a lot of times to me. I didn't answer. I usually used to answer it in a way that it's actually helpful. You can just take it up. Why are you concentrating so much on that? Something that is not going to make a much difference. Well, those of you who don't know about IDEs are nothing but integrated development environment. Meaning, let's say that I want to learn a new programming language like Dart. You can just load the Dart environment into your IDE. This IDE I'm using is a Visual Studio Code. You just have to load the Dart binaries into your IDE, and the IDE will automatically take care of finding errors for you, understanding what is that you want to complete. It will do code completion for you. It will even take care of formatting. All of that is going to be taken care of. It's a very good way to do something faster. It's obviously going to reduce your time by more than 50%, 100% about that. No doubt about that. But those of you who are starting out as a new developer who just want to start out a new language, you are asking me this question which I didn't answer properly. I admit that it's my mistake, but now I've got a realization, because since I've not been very touching, I've not been touching Flutter for some time now. I want to write this program. I want to develop this UI kit for some kind of a challenge that I'm taking up myself. When I was taking that up, the initial couple of 10 to 15 minutes was very difficult for me, because I had forgotten most of the things that was a very easy one for me some time back. Meaning, for example, let's say that I have a container here. I'm going to try to do a column next. So when I try to do a column, the IDE automatically suggests me a lot of different columns that are out there. For example, this is a simple column that I want to put. As soon as I put enter, I want to go for the keys that are part of the column. Now, as you can see, when I just open and close the brackets, it automatically suggesting children for me, children as a key. There is main axis alignment as a key, text-based line as a key. So I just put an enter and automatically fills the entire code up for me. It's technically auto-completing the code for me. So when I was trying to write the initial base page, I was finding it very difficult because I had completely forgotten what are the keys that are available. I was just going back and forth searching for what are the keys that are available. It could be as simple as a button theme. I forgot what does a button theme do. This is primarily because I was highly reliant on the IDEs to do the work for me. Even though it did do a lot of faster work, I was not having the muscle memory to complete the code out myself. So the question obviously is an IDE good or bad when you're writing code? Well, I'm going to be very honest with you. If you're trying to learn something for the first time, meaning I want to understand a Java for the first time, I want to understand Python for the first time, you want to learn Flutter itself for the first time, try to not do it in an IDE. Maybe the first month, try to not do it in IDE, because most of the time it auto completes the code for you. You don't remember what are the keys that are out there. You don't understand what are the widgets that are out there. And it will even give you guys an example. I'll give you an example of what is wrong. Now let's see that I'm forgetting this comma here. you can see that it is automatically giving me that there is something wrong here, that you are missing out something here. So I know that I'm missing a comma here, I'll go put a comma. Now what would usually happen is that when you are running it without the help of an IDE or without the help of a code completer or a linter running in the background, you would actually run this code and you will understand, you'll go through the debugging logs, you'll understand the error logs, you'll see where is the line that is saying that there is a comma missing, and you'll go to that line, you'll understand what is that I'm doing wrong here, and you'll tell yourself to not do it next time. But now what happens is that when you are giving this, you are given this automatically completing code completion tool, it is making it super easy for you to go forward faster, but at the same time hampering the learning that you would otherwise have. So that's pretty much the first point that I wanted to share with you guys when it comes to using IDEs. The second important point is that those of you who are writing code in your college or university or whatever it is, you will find it very, very difficult. Okay, this is something I thought about it when I was preparing for this video. So what I was thinking was that in my college days and in my school days, we used to write a lot of code in a pen paper. There isn't much of typing, there is a lot of pen paper code that is very, very important. So what that did was I understood the concepts of Python very well. I understood the concept of C++ very well. I even learned Java very well because I wrote a lot of code on paper. Now when I used to write it, what is the simple mistake is that you would miss maybe a simple semicolon, you would miss a simple brackets or something like that, and you would still be able to find it out when you are writing it on a pen and paper. And when you go to an IDE, all it does is that it auto completes it for you. You don't even have to remember there has to be a semicolon or there has to be a flower brackets opening up here or there, and that is pretty much messing up the learning curve itself. Because I'll give you an example. There is, if any interview that you take, there is going to be definitely one pen paper round. So when there is going to be one pen paper round, you're going to be writing it on a pen paper, you got to write code on the paper. Most of the companies don't mind much about the syntax, but when you are actually going to write it, it doesn't mean that you have to do a lot of syntax error on the simple code. You need to still hold the syntax portion of the code properly. The logical portion is mainly going to be the focus for the interviewer himself. But what happens is that if you have a lot of syntax error, you forget where to open a bracket, you forget where to put a semicolon, you even forget where should a if block come, how should a if block be constructed. That is going to be a very big damage. That's going to make it's going to cause a heavy damage when you're doing that on a pen and paper. So my advice would be to, as part of this video, to make you guys understand that IDs are not bad, they are actually very, very good. If you see, I have to write 1,000 lines of code on a day, I cannot still go to a code editor and do a lot of that and understand without formatting. It will just be a plain code written without formatting, and I don't want that. I'm still going to be heavily reliant on the IDE to do the work faster for me, but at the same time I also would recommend for this beginners to go for code editors rather than IDEs. Just code editors would be like a text pad or a notepad++. Your Visual Studio Code itself, you can use it as a text editor without all the linting, without all the code completion plugins and all of that. You can still do that. It will not code complete it for you. You still have to run it every time. You still have to find out the errors every time, and that's pretty much how you learn any programming language. So that's pretty much it. So that's my verdict for this video. Should you stop using IDEs? Definitely not. But should you start using IDEs immediately as soon as you start learning a programming language? I would highly recommend not to do that. Write it on a piece of paper, and then from there you are going to be promoting yourself to writing it on a text pad or a notepad++ without all these integrated development environment running everything in the background, doing all the checks for you. Because as you progress from there, you will learn and you will learn and learn, and that's when you stop doing mistakes. And also it will give you guys that patience to understand where is it I'm making a mistake, and you will not repeat the same mistake next time. So that's pretty much what I wanted to convey as part of this video. It's a very short and maybe a short video that I wanted to make. Pretty much that's it for me. Let me meet you guys in the next video. Definitely stay tuned for the challenge video that's coming up. I don't know how it's going to be, but still I pretty much hope it's going to be good. So let me meet you there. Until then, it's Bharat. Peace out. Have a super awesome day.